I've been really fair to Trump and his administration and totally happy to give him credit where it's due because I really wanted to be the kind of person who give Trump a chance. I like his rhetoric on jobs and I like his rhetoric on trade. I think he's leading the GOP in a better direction on those issues. And when he talked about abortion and this latest trans student rights thing, I said to myself, I really disagree with Trump on these issues, but he's obviously like a states' rights guy. He wants to leave these big decisions up to the states. Might not be my way of looking at the world, but it's consistent with what he said. But apparently no, he's not for states' rights. Because when it comes to like red states, yeah, he's in favor of states' rights. But when it comes to blue states, he's federalist through and through. This is evidenced by Press Secretary Sean Spicer's recent comments on recreational marijuana.
There's a big difference between that and recreational marijuana. And I think that when you see something like the opioid addiction crisis blossoming in so many states around this country, the last thing that we should be doing is encouraging people. There is still a federal law that we need to abide by in terms of the medical, when it comes to recreational marijuana and other drugs of that nature. So,
and then, I did want to follow up on this medical marijuana question. So is the federal government then going to take some sort of action around this recreational marijuana in some of these states?
Well, I think that's a question for the Department of Justice. I do believe that you'll see greater enforcement of it. Because again, there's a big difference between the medical use, which Congress has through an appropriations rider in 2014, made very clear what the intent of what their intent was in terms of how the Department of Justice would handle that issue. That's very different than the recreational use, which is something the Department of Justice, I think, will be further looking into.
But don't worry, everybody. Alcohol and tobacco will still be readily available. Cigarettes can fucking send hundreds of thousands of people to their graves. Alcohol can turn people into fucking buffoons, crashing into each other, getting in fights, getting rowdy, fucking murdering their fucking kids and shit. That's okay. That's still gonna be fine. That's still gonna be all right. But, marijuana, no. Can't have that. Well, sorry, but that just crossed my line. I moved across this country to be in a state where marijuana is legal because I'm a regular pot smoker. I love Washington State's great pot dispensaries. I love the huge amounts of tax revenue and jobs these dispensaries bring to our state and to other recreational marijuana states. This is a billion-dollar industry just in Washington alone. Nationally, it's a multi-billion-dollar industry every year. And also nationally, cannabis-related companies employ 150,000 people. There's so many reasons why this makes Trump's administration a piece of shit. Because first, all of Trump's job rhetoric is proven immediately false. The moment his press secretary started intimating that Trump is actually looking to put 150,000 people out of work by attacking a thriving new industry. Second, it shows Trump has zero respect for states' rights, as he's willing to subvert the will of the electorate and make them bow down before the might of the federal government. Small government conservatism. And third, federal crackdown on recreational marijuana will deprive recreational states of a huge revenue boon that's helping pay for health, education, and social services. And you know what? People are still going to go around smoking weed, even if the feds do crack down on it. I've lived in Louisiana, one of the reddest of the red states, and people smoke weed there. Just like people smoke weed in Ohio and Illinois and Mississippi and every other fucking state that I've lived in or driven through or been to or exists in this fucking country. Outlawing weed doesn't make people stop smoking it. We know that. It just destroys jobs and cuts state revenue and drives the market underground in states where it is legal, and that pisses me off. Because as I said, I moved across this country largely because I wanted to live somewhere where I could buy weed, not from a shady drug dealer, but from a respectable store, staffed with helpful salespeople and a robust selection of fucking products. So I'm going to go on the record right here and now and saying that if this actually happens, if recreational marijuana dispensaries are actually raided by the federal government, the kid gloves are coming off. And this din of angry liberals calling for Trump's head on a stick, I'm no longer going to mock them. I'm going to join them. Because at that point, we're not talking about hypothetical consequences anymore. We're talking about something that affects me and millions of other people directly. So the very moment that Trump's perforated anus, Jeff Sessions, sends his thugs to bust up this thriving new American entrepreneurial enterprise, that's the day after that, people are going to be looking up how to make Molotov cocktails. And why shouldn't they? If the government fucks the people, then the people should fuck the government. My advice to America is this. Step one, when the midterm elections happen, replace these corporatist Democrats who can't stand up to Trump because they're as bad as he is, and find some ballsy liberals who want to rip Trump's face off and stuff it up his fucking asshole, so they can get on about the business of actually making America great. Notice how I didn't say great again. Step two, find an articulate leader to run in 2020, someone who's not bought and paid for, and throw this overgrown fucking Oompa Loompa out on his fucking ass. The chocolate factory is closed, bitch. Trump has used he's used up his goodwill with me. This decision not only represents a direct attack on me and my lifestyle and the lifestyles of millions of other Americans, but it also represents that Trump is full of shit when he talks about jobs, and full of shit when he talks about states' rights, and full of shit when he claims to respect democracy. This fucker is every bit the totalitarian that the histrionic liberals said he was. So maybe they weren't so histrionic after all. Maybe they just got the fucking memo early. So this is my signaling to all of you that Trump will no longer be enjoying any apologetics from me. I'm done with him. And if you still support him after this, then you're an idiot and I'm done with you too. Because if him proving that every single thing he ever said was bullshit isn't enough for you to turn on him, then there's no hope for you. Go bang your head against a fucking brick wall and see what breaks first. Hail freedom, hail commerce, hail prosperity. And if Trump truly desires to make himself an enemy of those things, then fuck Trump. I'm the Amazing Atheist. Peace the fuck out. I tell you to subscribe, but I know all you Trump bitches are unsubscribing right now, so...